So 5-year investment time horizon, our minimum hurdle rate of return is 15% at a compound annual rate over 5 years. And so I think that that combination of 5 years plus exponential growth trajectories is what is finally starting to get into the market. I've been waiting for years. It's going to be incredibly confusing, I think, to people. Just look at what's happened to the bond market this year. You know, against all expectations, yields have dropped from, I think it was 1.75 at the peak in March down to 1.3 as inflation expectations are exploding, right? We believe the reason for that is that we're probably, when all is said and done and the dust clears from the supply chain problems and everything, we're probably in a highly deflationary world. And we see 3 sources of deflation. One is very good. It's called technologically enabled innovation. Artificial intelligence training costs are dropping 68% per year.
Right.
When a cost drops that much, the demand for it picks up, and artificial intelligence is probably the biggest reason we're seeing the convergences between and among technologies. So we've got one S-curve feeding another, explosive energy, incredible deflation. That's the first deflation. If the whole world thinks that's going to happen, and a portfolio manager and analyst team thinks that's going to happen, well, if we're wrong, it's not going to matter that much, right? Because nobody's expecting it. It's not in the market. But if we're right, the returns are enormous. And I think that's what's going on with the technologically enabled innovation that we see, especially in healthcare, by the way. But there are 2 other sources of deflation. Disruptive innovation, there's another side to it. It's called creative destruction. And I think we're going to see more creative destruction than we have in all history during the next 5 to 10 years. Now, you can say, oh, you're just talking your book. We have rights law teaching us about learning curves and cost declines that suggest we are going to see incredible booms out there in parts of the world, but it's going to mean tremendous destruction in others. So when I say confusing, I mean that. And then the third source of deflation, I think, will be cyclical deflation. Most people are fighting us on this one. It's hard to fight us given our research on those other 2. We're in the echo now. And I do believe that both crypto and the equity markets are going to be powered by millennials. In fact, Tom Lee at Fundstrat, yeah, he has done the arithmetic the way that Stan did. And I think he says this bull market will not end at least until 2026, and maybe not until 2038 when the number of millennials peaks out there. If we're right, and companies continue to diversify their cash into something like Bitcoin, and institutional investors start allocating 5% of their funds towards, I'll just say Bitcoin for right now, because we did that, we framed it for Bitcoin, could be for other cryptos as well. We believe that the price will be tenfold of where it is today. So instead of 45,000, over 500,000. Countries are now deeming it legal tender, and we haven't even put that into our thinking. Ether, however, is seeing an explosion in developer activity thanks to NFTs and DeFi. I'm fascinated with what's going on in DeFi, which is collapsing the cost of the infrastructure for financial services in a way that I know that the traditional financial industry does not appreciate right now. So it does have to move from proof of work to proof of stake. That transition is underway and seems to be taking hold. Our confidence in Ether has gone up dramatically as we've seen the beginning of this transition from proof of work to proof of stake. We'd still probably do 60% Bitcoin, 40% Ether. Our working assumption from the beginning was that, and this was based on meeting with them, meeting regulators, both state and local and federal, was that No regulator wanted to be blamed from preventing the next big technology breakthrough to happen in the US. And that has proven true. Now we've got Chairman Gary Gensler. I'm really happy he understands crypto and understands the merits of Bitcoin in particular. He is a regulator though, and he's a hardcore regulator. What Coinbase did, I mean, I was shocked when I saw it. Wells notice, are you kidding? They haven't even released the product. Like, what is this? And I think what that Wells notice is doing, it's a call out by regulators saying, we got to discuss this stuff because this is happening very quickly. And I think we are going to bring courts into the system. This happened in Canada. A company called 3iQ sued the regulator there and won in court. So they were able to issue Bitcoin ETFs and closed-end funds, and Ether as well. So I am beginning to think that Coinbase doesn't mind this at all. And if you saw the stock reaction, it hardly budged. Right.